So before we get to the video, it's about how you need to structure your business differently based on what kind of life you want it to enable for you. I had a bunch of different examples from all the basic stuff you need to consider, like what's the difference in how you structure your business based on how long vacations you want to be able to take, or how suddenly you want to be able to take them. But also a lot of examples of a lot more unconventional things you can do that enable things you wouldn't usually be able to do, like have long vacations even if you run an e-commerce business without hiring help. But I ended up putting all of that into a PDF that you can download from petersundin.com/lifestyle. Now let's get to the video. So I just landed in Oslo, and this is a trip I didn't know I would even take a few days ago. I had no intention of going anywhere. The reason I'm pointing this out is that I built a business specifically to allow the kind of life where I get crazy ideas and I can go for them. And a lot of time when people think of how to build their business, what kind of tactics to do, what to sell and all that, what they're thinking of is how to get to the dream lifestyle of working for a few hours a day from a beach. But that's a different business than the type of business that allows you to take a 1-month vacation every 4 months. Or it's the different kind of business than what allows me, for example, to take a few days off here and there. So before you go for any sort of marketing tactics or such, you need to figure out what type of life you want and then build a business that actually allows you to have that kind of life. And I'll be going through a few of the considerations next.
There are many things you need to think of when you think of what type of business you want to build. How many hours a day do you want to work? How many days a week do you want to work? How long do you need your vacations to be? How quickly do you want to be able to go on vacation? I like being able to take one day off here and there just to suddenly hang out with my wife for a day and go do something interesting. But for a lot of people, it's more important that they can take 1 month off every few months. One more thing is to look at what type of business, I mean, like just industry you're in and such. It does affect things, but a lot less than you might think. For example, e-commerce is one of the examples where people generally just believe that there's no way they can take a month off as a vacation unless they hire help. But let's say you don't want to hire people, but you're in e-commerce or some other business where it's really hard to take long vacations. There are still ways to just structure your business in a way that it doesn't have the typical limitations of that industry or that type of business. But you need to be willing to look at some very unconventional ideas, look at how very different types of businesses are run and what makes them able to actually do that. What makes how to, for example, make your e-commerce business super seasonal so that you need to work during the high season, but then again, there's nothing for several months. Or if you want it to be 1 month off every few months, then, well, you need to build your business so that it actually is built around that type of cycle. But for the most part, this whole consideration of what you want your business to enable for you is separate from the industry you're in or the profession you have.
So you've probably heard the idea that you should pause sometimes to just think and feel what is right for you and all that. But I think that's a little bit vague. If you don't really know what you're trying to look for, what you're trying to notice, then noticing anything can be pretty hard. In business, I think there's basically 2 things that people avoid noticing. One of those is that maybe you're not doing the right thing. Maybe your business isn't really right for you as it is now. Maybe you should restructure it. Maybe you should change what you sell. Maybe you should sell something new. Maybe you should have different kinds of clients. Something maybe should be different about your business so that it would really enable the life you want. The other thing is that people, especially early on in business, it can be really scary to stop and just really look at what they're doing, because the truth is that they don't really know. And by doing all the time, trying new things constantly, it's easy to kind of feel like, well, I'm sure something's gonna work. So they don't ever have to really stop and take toll of look at what they're doing and what are the odds of it working, how confident they really are, how well do they know how to do those things and all that. So pause and think of, first of all, is your business really going to the right direction? Is it enabling the life you want? Even when you get to your goals, is it really going to be the kind of business you want to have? And maybe even more urgently, look at all the things you're doing, all the different things, whether it's building a new product, selling a new service, trying a specific marketing tactic, spending time on different things, whatever it is. Really look at it and consider, do you know that this is going to work? What are realistically the odds that it's going to work, that it is going to take you to your goals? And just whatever is the answer, just let it be. Don't try to hide from it, especially if it's not what you want. Then don't hide from it. Do something different. Find help, change something, talk to people, whatever it is that you need to do, just do it. But don't just avoid the decision. Don't avoid the information because it's uncomfortable. If that sounds familiar, if you're not really sure that you're building the type of business that will enable the life you really want, then think of it. Think of what you're actually doing, what kind of business you're putting together so that you can reach the goals you have. And in any case, the PDF I put together, it has a lot of examples of the things you should consider, and also examples of things that you probably have never considered because so few people are doing those things, but they enable a lot of things that otherwise wouldn't be really possible, or at least would be really, really difficult to reach. You can download it at petersandin.com/lifestyle. And if you know someone who's building a business or has a business, but it doesn't seem to really satisfy the kind of doesn't enable the life they want, then maybe share this video with them. It's some food for thought for them. And in any case, if you want to see more of my videos, then click the subscribe button. And I'll see you then. Quick question for, I guess, people in Oslo. Why do you have an espresso house in every freaking corner? And I know this one's closed, but check this out. There's another one right down there. And no, they're not the same. And I know this one's closed, but this is closed only because it's early morning on a Sunday. And yeah, I know why they have this many, and I've even explained this in my emails, but seriously.